thank you for joining us on the Republic of Presidents. This is Leke Olateru Olagbegi. Today I will be lending my voice to the recently very popular subject, which is to Japa out of Nigeria. Everyone is talking about it. It has become a buzzword. For those of you who do not already know the word, to Japa means to travel abroad with the intent of not coming back ever. Incidentally, I just finished watching two videos by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, where he shared very serious considerations for people to have before they jump on the Japa bandwagon. So for those of you who are considering whether to Japa or not, I'd love that you go check out that video. Just type in before you join the Japa bandwagon by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, and you will see for yourself that those videos are very useful for you. But that's not the reason why I came here today. The reason why I came here to speak to you is because when I finished, while I listened and I watched Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, I remembered a few experiences that I had personally regarding this Japa subject and how it helps to shape my opinion about my own life personally. So back in year 2000, something happened that made a very deep impression on me. I was in the university at the time. I was in my first year, and I came home one day, I think it was September the 4th, only to see that my aunt had just returned from the embassy, and she was weeping, like seriously weeping like a baby. And just to provide you some background to the story, this was a lady who had traveled to the UK back in 1991. She had a good life. She was working, even though, well, she was working as a cleaner in a hotel. So I found out later. She was working, she was earning a living, she was a big girl. She was sending some good money to her parents, my grandparents. And I knew that she was quite nice, you know. So I was very saddened when I saw that she came back that day from the embassy. You know, her story was that she got deported because she had gone to try to seek asylum. She had gone with visitor's visa. Then, of course, she threw away her passport and then requested asylum. And that was in process for so many years. And you know, she thought everything was going well. She was having to go to the immigration, and then one day, suddenly, after 9 years of being settled over there as a big girl, she just went to the immigration office, and the lady said to her, "You're welcome for me. You're going back to Nigeria today." Like, just like that. After 9 years, she wasn't allowed to go back home to pick nothing, no keys, nothing. Her properties, her jewelry, her stuff, nothing. She was taken straight up from there to a holding room, and from the holding room to the airport. When I heard this story, I was heartbroken. So the sum total of our experience taught me that I couldn't build my life around a dream like that. So I made up my mind that I will never, ever cry or weep for any visa. That experience taught me a lot. It made a deep impression on me. So fast forward from year 2000 to year 2004, when I had the opportunity to travel to Spain for the first time, it was a contingent of students. We were going for Forum Barcelona 2004. And I was like the leader of the artistic group there. Most of the students who went on that trip went with the intention of never coming back. And most of them never came back. There were 32 of us in the group. Only 12 of us came back. In fact, the day that I came back, I mean, not the day I came back, but shortly after I came back and I came to school, I was like a big boy back then. Man, I don't just come back. But one guy saw me. He was from the student union. He was like, "Man, you are a madman." I mean, in English, what that means is like, "Nigga, you really mean you came back? In fact, you're a madman. In fact, you will never travel again in your life." I just looked at him and I laughed it off because I didn't take it seriously. And thankfully, since that time, I've been to at least 4 continents outside of Africa. So for me, it has never been a do or die affair to travel or not to travel. Now, one thing I want you guys to consider, for those of you thinking about it, have you never wondered why you see Indians in Abuja? You see Indians in Lagos, you see Lebanese, you see Chinese, you see other Africans who have come to Nigeria to come and look for greener pastures. Don't you think about it that don't these people have money in their own place? There must be something they are looking for in this place. If there was nothing interesting here, they won't leave Asia, they won't leave Pakistan, they won't leave some of them Iran, some of them Lebanon, some of them Israel, some of them Europeans, Belarusians, they won't leave there to come here. So this is the way that I see it. So personally, I have family members who are abroad and I love them. I don't condemn anybody. But here is what I say to the rest of us who are here. If you are going there, better know why you are going there. Better know for what you are going there. Because if you think there's free money to be picked up anywhere you go, man, you better wake up, smell the coffee. You see, the first time I traveled to the United States, I went to Florida, Orlando, Florida, 2010. I was like, okay, but there's nothing spectacular here now. The grass is still the same green color that I have in Abuja. There's still like dirt like on the roads. In fact, the most disappointing one was when I traveled to the UK and I arrived at the train station. And I'm like, look at this train station, like this old looking. I looked at the rail tracks. You know, better past the rail tracks when you get for Oshodi. And I'm like, so what's the spectacular thing about this place? Well, we all know what's the spectacular thing. They have a system that works. However, what I'm trying to say is money won't just fall down from trees just because. You won't just go pick up money on the floor just because you are traveling abroad. And then I think about the other thing. Many of us, we put a lot of money together. And I'm not criticizing you, mind you. We put a lot of money together. We put in 5 million, 10 million because we want to travel. Here is the perspective that I want to give you. Here is my perspective. And again, I'm not judging anybody, but this is the way I think about it. After I read a book sometime in year 2003, this is the way I think about it. The places we're going today, all of those developed countries of the world were built by men like you and I. And many of those countries were built on the back of imperialism, were built on the back of colonialism, but more importantly, were built on the back of industrialization, on the back of commerce, on the back of cross-border trade. Essentially, they were built on the back of investments. That's how they built their countries. And this is one of the biggest reasons why I set up the Republic of Presidents. You know, people ask me all the time, it's like I was speaking to a former boss of mine a few days ago. He said, Leke, you are a political consultant now. I'm like, no, bros, this thing is not about politics. This is my own personal vision about how I see the future of our country. I see a country where we will not develop until some of us rise up, sit up, and say, I want to be a part of this. I want to make my own contribution to the development of my country. What I'm doing talking to you is to try to find believers like myself who believe that they can rise up and contribute to the development of our country. So how do I think we can do it? I think we can do it by investing in ourselves. Investing in our own individual abilities to make money. I think we can do this by investing in our country, investing in new businesses. Yes, I know the well-worn story. It is difficult to run a business in Nigeria. But bros, ladies, we still have people where they run big business for Nigeria. Some of you want to spend 10 million to Japa. That 10 million can pay you off handsomely if you invest that in a business that pays off in Nigeria. I'm not saying invest blindly. I'm saying find an opportunity. If an Israeli can leave his country to come to Nigeria, if a Japanese can leave his country to come to Nigeria, there must be something here. It's our duty to find it. And that's my challenge to you today. As you consider to Japa, it's a good thing. On the one hand, for some of you that go over there, you can still send money from there and invest in Nigeria, which is good. But for those of you who are only going to end up getting stuck after you go there, please think again. There are no green roses on the other side, though. No green roses. Think about it. You can be part of a new Nigeria. The election season is in Nigeria again. We have the opportunity to get it right this time. Elect a president who can set Nigeria on the path towards development. But that president needs people like you and I who say, I want to make my own contribution. The government is not paying me. The government is not giving me shishi to do anything. But I want to contribute. I want to stand up to be counted. I want to make my own contribution by investing in Nigeria, employing people. Why is it important to invest in Nigeria? Let me tell you. You see, a country is only as rich as its citizens. So the sum total of the riches, the wealth of China, of Japan, of Europe, of the USA, the sum total of the wealth in those places is the aggregate total of the wealth of its people and the institutions. So the wealth, first of all, has to start from here, from individuals like us. So why don't we start thinking, instead of running away, why don't we say, okay, what can we do to bring money out of this place? Nigeria has solid minerals. Nigeria has arable land all over the place. I used to do a lot of work for a UN organization, investing in sanitation and all of that. So I had the opportunity to travel a lot. And I saw that young men and women from those places are leaving there to go to the cities. They are saying there's poverty, but there's land there. You're not making use of it. You're not doing anything. Anyway, my point is, not all of us should have the dream to Japa. Some of us should have the dream to stay here and build something that we can be proud of. If I had my way, if I had one thing I could give to all Nigerians, I would give a job to everyone who needed one. But if I don't have the ability to create 1 million jobs or 2 million jobs, well, I have this soapbox of mine to talk to people like you, to say, hey, look, why don't you consider investing here in a business? Employ 5 people. By doing that, you are reducing poverty. By doing that, you are increasing our GDP. By doing that, you are increasing your own wealth. Rather than go to another country, you feed them your money in education, feed them your money for the rent you're going to pay, feed them your money for real estate you're going to buy. In fact, when I traveled to London for the first time, I saw the houses in which some people live, like Nigerians, and it looked like a box to me. I'm like, you mean I'm going to leave my big house in Nigeria to come live in this place? Hell no. But space is at a premium over there. Here you can buy huge land for a relatively small sum of money. You can think of businesses that nobody is thinking about. And there are so many things in Nigeria today. Have you ever thought of how much we import? Have you ever thought of what it takes to set up industries, to begin to build some of those things that we import? Is it so impossible, guys? No, it's not. It's not. So this video is my own contribution to the debate whether to Japa or not. Ultimately, the choice is yours. And for those of you that are watching this from outside the country, my sincere appeal to you is don't forget your country. You were born in Nigerian, you were born an African, so that you could make a difference in Africa, a difference over here. So after you've made your money over there, my brother, my sister, begin to plan. Begin to think about it. Begin to set up structures that will enable you to invest. And I know some of you already have that 2-year plan. I hear, people in London and in Europe and, overseas, they have this 2-year plan that never ends. Well, that 2-year plan that you've been having, you know what? You need to actually activate that 2-year plan. You need to begin to put in the right structures. You need to come to Nigeria and find like-minded Nigerians who you can entrust with your money, who you can entrust with your vision, or whose vision you can invest in. And when you invest in these visions, you are also building your own future. So for those of you already there, you're my guys, man. I'm not condemning nobody. I'm only saying, come over, be part of this movement. Nigeria can be great. Other countries did it too. China did it. Thailand did it. Malaysia did it. Singapore did it. In fact, the story of Singapore, I can never stop talking about it. We can do it too. It will not be done by IMF or these loans we're taking from the Chinese Exim Bank or all the loans we're taking from the European Development Bank. It won't come from those loans. It will come from us, Nigerians, with our brains, with our vision, with our energy, with our passion. We can do it, guys. We can do it. This is the word for today, everyone. Thank you for being part of the Republic of Presidents today. I hope I haven't been too aggressive in my talking to you today, but this is just my own passion for the subject. And I hope I've been able to make sense to a few of you out there to begin to think about Nigeria and how you can make contributions to the development of Nigeria as well as the development of our continent. And until we come your way again, keep thinking and acting like a president. God bless you, and God bless our world.